Hi, my name is Wendy Ann Clark, and this is my channel Transformation, where I talk about how God desires that you would be transformed into the image of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. And my goal here today is just to bring up a short reflection that I will hope will encourage you to continue daily pursuing the person of Jesus, that over time you would be changed. Today, what I want to talk about is just we all need some good news. Don't you think? We need some good news. There's so much political talk these days, and our political world is sharply divided. And the problem with political talk is that too much divisive news is just draining. There's just plain bad news, just too much of it. But we actually need some good news. Proverbs 15:30 says this: "A cheerful look brings joy to the heart. Good news makes for good health." Uh-oh. A very real problem that we have in our culture is that there's so much news available to us. It's everywhere, but very little of it is good news. So, what are we to do? My suggestions: pray over all the news that comes your way. Quick, short, thoughtful prayers. Just pray about it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Pray about it. Be intentional about how much news actually comes your way. You can just look away. You can avoid getting onto your phone for a good portion of the day. You can monitor that, monitor yourself. You can go looking for good news and fun stories and encouraging things like testimonies. I like to watch the I Am Second testimonies, or a Voice of the Martyrs has a radio podcast with testimonies. There's God Stories Radio. There's all sorts of things that you can look for that will tell you encouraging news and encouraging stories. So make sure you're listening to some good news, and you're reading some good news, and you're praying over all that bad news. And if you find yourself stuck in a negative story that just you're in a cycle, you can't get out. You keep reading and commenting and getting responses or whatever. If it's taking over your morning, I don't know if you ever have this happen to you, but I can get involved in something and then an hour's pass. Oh my goodness, I don't want to do that. So if you need to break the chain, count down, 3, 2, 1, jump up, break the hold, go do something else. Go to the bathroom, go get something to eat or something to drink. Take a walk around the office, whatever you need to do. Break a cycle if you get stuck in something that's holding you. And this works for everything. This works for, like, if you're eating sweets and you're like, I can't stop, or you're eating chips, I can't stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Break. Get up. Change the situation. Do it. And so if you're stuck in something in social media and bad news, just break the chain and be intentional about it. Envision God's perfect will shaping the worst of the news. Like, God, what would happen if you get a hold of this and you shape this to your glory? What's that going to look like when he gets to the end, when it's completed? That can be an encouragement. Encourage yourself. Make it a habit to be the person who shares good news. You know, it's easy to remember bad news because it's shocking and terrible and, I don't know, fun in a weird way to share bad news. You want to tell that incredibly horrible story that everybody goes, oh! But make it a habit to share some good news, to file that away in the data banks, in the memory, so that when you're sitting around and go, did you hear that story about? And it would be something really good. I don't know. So it takes a little more work. Remember to tell positive stories. You have to remember them and you have to tell them. Be excited about things that are exciting from a spiritual perspective. There's one man that comes to our church, our house church, and he'll say, "Oh, isn't it so exciting? These people are responding to the gospel." And a lot of people around be like, let's champion the things that God champions. It is exciting that people are responding to the gospel. We should look for those stories. If you go looking for good news purposefully, you do it on purpose, you're going to have more good news to share, to remember, and to share. So you're going to have to look, and you're going to have to pay attention. And you're going to have to choose how you're going to think about things, how you're going to receive news that comes your way, what you're going to do with it. So today, this is just encouragement for today. Think about how much that comes your way throughout the day. How much is good and fun and encouraging? Notice good and fun, encouraging things, and then think, I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to share that with somebody else. That was good. That was fun. That was encouraging. That was funny. That was great. Maybe you think, I'm not going to share that awful story today. I'm not going to try to remember that story. A funny thing for women would understand that when you go to like wedding showers or baby showers, you're getting ready for the wedding or you're getting ready for the baby to be born, all these ladies, a certain number of ladies, sit around and tell the most horrific stories about everything that went wrong with a wedding, about all the worst things that can happen when you're giving birth to a baby. What is this? How about we share some good stories? I used to sit next to a woman in choir when I was having my first baby. I was pregnant with my first baby, and every week at this church choir, she would just talk about all the terrible things about having a baby. And man, I was like, why do people even have children? And I'd get home and my husband would say, what did the prophet of doom and gloom say tonight? And we would laugh about it. And then when I had my baby, I said to this lady one time, why didn't you tell me how wonderful this would be? It's wonderful having a baby. It's so great. And yes, I'm tired, but God gives you what you need to handle being tired. Yes, I would have had kids so much earlier if I just known how much I was going to enjoy this. And my husband felt the same way. And I said, why didn't you tell me? And she said, I don't remember anything good about having a baby. You have to choose how you're going to think about things, man. So pay attention today. What are the things that come to you that are good and fun and encouraging and funny and that you could remember and you could pass along to somebody else? That you would be that kind of person that when you come in the room, people would go, oh, I wonder what's great we're going to hear today. Not, oh, what did the prophet of doom and gloom have to share today? I hope I've given you something to think about today that would encourage you. Let me know what you think. If you comment, I guess it helps more people to see my videos. Like it if you like it. Share it if you think somebody else might. Hit subscribe. That's also more subscribers also means people will see the videos. The videos aren't monetized. I'm not trying to make any money. I appreciate even when there's just a few people watching. That doesn't really matter much to me. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I post new content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.